Welcome to the Golden Feather. Grab a pint, a plate, and pick your seats. Your hosts Vertek and Chibi Bree are back from their latest adventure.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Golden Feather. Today is March 12th. Yes, March 12th. This is episode 71, NDA Inside Gaming, featuring Tavern Side Gaming. How you doing? Welcome
doing
back.
Great. Thank you very much for the invitation back. It's been a little while, but I love seeing just like the how involved your all's whole setup on the stream mode. It looks lovely. Like I love the entire setup. I'm a little bit biased just because it's a whole tavern theme, but yeah, it looks great. So congratulations on that for sure.
Well, thank you.
Bias is accepted here.
Yes, always. He's alive. He is alive, and we have him. He's right here.
They've managed to catch me.
And he will be streaming tonight after our podcast. So stick around. We'll be raiding him right after. But yes. Hi, Magisto AOC. Okay, there we go. I always have to figure out where to split the usernames because unless you do like caps, it's a little harder to be like, okay, where's like one word versus another word. I've totally called people like the wrong name completely.
Oh,
like, yeah. So
and then switching between like languages, you never know where the stress is gonna be, so you're just gonna butcher it. You just kind of got to go for it after a while.
Yeah, you're just like, you know what? If I go for it, it can't be too horrible, I'm sure. Right. We got leaks. Leaks have happened, and updates have happened. First off, though, Tavern Side, where have you been? What do you got planned? And what
Who
upgrades
abducted
did
you,
you
and
get?
do we need to get revenge?
Yes. Do we need to get revenge on them?
Where have I been? So I've been doing like a lot of the back end stuff. So making a lot of upgrades. Just got like a new streaming/gaming PC. So like went all out. The 3090 Ti, like the newest like motherboards. GPU, CPU, got the whole thing. So we got that up and going. Got a new camera. And then outside of like software and hardware upgrades that I've been working on the back end. I've gotten the game show pretty much all finalized and ready to go. Now we're just waiting on that community goal for like my Twitch community. Once we reach it, we're pretty close. We'll be getting that up and going. So that should be pretty fun. So make sure that you all check your all's inbox, Vertek and Chibi Bree, because I think that I'm going to try to get you on there sooner rather than later. Hopefully I can at least get one of you. Both of you is fine too.
I'm so bad at trivia games. Oh, I am the worst.
The great thing about the game show is, have you ever watched like the hot ones on like YouTube? It's
that's the wing challenge one.
Yeah, it's like the wing challenge, and then like the guy just like asks them questions as they're like suffering through the pain. Instead of like the pain, you're gonna like the pain of like physical pain from like that. It's just the pain of embarrassment of not knowing the questions. So, but it's more or less whenever I have like other streamers on, other content creators, it's just getting to know them, introducing my community to those that are putting out content for Ashes of Creation, and then there will be some like challenging ones too for like members of the community, maybe those that are incredibly knowledgeable about the game, right? Might have some challenging times for those. But other than go ahead.
There's a thing in software development where you feel like because you've been doing it so long, there's still stuff that you don't know, and it's like that imposter syndrome, and I feel that coming on already with Ashes. I'm like, oh no, imposter syndrome.
Well, I actually don't know anything.
The thing about Ashes, and like as I'm like developing all the like these questions and the trivia, like we'll be having a trivia like night later on, it's like there's just so many rabbit holes you can go down, and it really blows my mind just like how in depth, like even though they haven't really released much on the game itself, what they have released, it's very complex. So it's not hard to get lost and feel that way for sure. Like I feel it all the time. But yeah, outside of like streaming stuff, it's just been incredibly busy. With the whole COVID situation where I live, it's starting to lessen on the restrictions. So a lot of the people that I train and mentor, they're going back to like their training environment, which means it's been really busy for me. So I've been doing my best to kind of like, stay involved in streams on social media, do my best to help out those that are answering or asking questions in the official Discords, making my presence known and trying to mentor others for Ashes of Creation. But now that we've kind of like we're at a really good place with my work, with all the hardware and software upgrades that I've had to make. I'm hoping to get back to a stable, consistent stream. Now I've said that before and it hasn't really worked out, but luckily there's so many amazing content creators for Ashes of Creation. A lot of us are smaller and growing, but they are consistent, and we do share like a large portion of our communities. So I'm always glad to jump in to your all's podcast so I can, see some of the people that I see in my stream as well. So just being able to maintain that community presence is really important to me. So thank you all for your all's continued streams, and to all the other content creators out there for sure.
Aw, thank you. I think it's
much
really
appreciated.
important.
We're glad to see you coming back too.
Yeah.
It's exciting. It was a little more exciting before today's announcement, right? Because
yes.
I'm sure we were all ready to go out, conquer the world, and then bring all of our communities with us next Friday. But
let's elaborate on that a little bit.
First, real quick, I want to say thank you, Theater Elf. It's much appreciated. Yes. Don't think we didn't notice those bits streaming by. Appreciated.
Yes.
And like Horrendous said, if you're donating your old computer somewhere, I'm sure there's plenty of places to donate. I can give you my address later. It might be better than my current one.
Right.
Yes, we're currently hoping that upon the update for tax season, we might be able to update the whole computer systems.
The beast.
So.
Yeah. Hey, we got the stimulus checks coming up, so we might be able to put it to good use.
Yeah, right.
Maybe, different people qualify, so we'll see.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm trying to actually find this now. Where did you put it? The new schedule.
Oh, all the way down at the bottom. The new.
Okay.
Oh, the new schedule. Yeah. Down in news.
Okay.
I did not get the actual.
I'm so sorry, guys. Okay, found it.
So let me just ask this before we really get into that.
Yes.
I think it'll be a nice lead-in. What was your all's plan for if the dates hadn't changed and if it was going according to the previous schedule? What was your all's plans? Were you wanting to hit it the very first day and just go straight into streaming, just testing, or did you all have a specific plan in place, or did you just want to wing it whenever it came about?
So the ideal, I think, was going to end up being, because it's going to start on a Friday, right? Every one of these things is starting on a Friday, which, that's our podcast day. Yeah. So we don't want to short people a podcast, but we did also want to stream. So what we're going to end up doing, ideally, we'll just see how it works, is going almost directly from having a podcast about the game to then just jumping right into playing it and interacting with the community the whole time. What do you guys want us to go do?
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you want to see us try out? What do you want to see us go? What class should we build?
The other thing that I was thinking that would be cool, and this could even be for other nights, just a community hangout night, if you will, is having a guest on, but all three of us playing together. And just all three of us talking about our experience and how we feel about things live as we're experiencing them, instead of when NDA finally drops and then we can finally talk about it much later, from previous testing, with Alpha 0 and pre-Alpha 1s, etc.
Okay, yeah, that'd be pretty fun for sure. I know I'm definitely wanting to get some PvP oriented folks, which I know that you all said that you're not necessarily PvP
that
folks.
Guy
I know
is.
Zia.
That guy is.
Organized PvP. Yeah, organized PvP. I'm all about. It's the.
Don't gank me.
Oh man, yeah, I can't do the battle royale stuff very well at all.
Right.
Organized PvP. If I have time to prep and get my stuff together, I do decent. I do acceptably well. I can be the guy that you need to do something while the main team is actually dominating the arena.
Right.
If you need a distraction or you need someone to accomplish a side goal, I got you.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, I might try to organize some type of, maybe not 1v1s, just because it's probably not gonna be like super balanced around that. But we might try to get some like 3v3s, 5v5s if we can get another streamers together. Mimic some type of arena style gameplay if we can find like a good location for it that's close enough to the spawn point. I'm definitely wanting to at least try out some of the PvP. Steven and them, they kind of gave us like a hint at it, a little taste of it during like the last dev stream, but I don't think it really did the combat justice. I'll
It's like
put it
walking through the mall
mildly.
and getting one of those like free sample plates
Yeah,
put in front of
exactly.
you. It's not quite the taste of the dish. It's been sitting there for a minute, so it might not be the freshest, but
Or a
you
couple
know.
days, but yeah,
It's not a
pretty
great
much.
example of what's actually behind the counter, but
Yeah. So I'm wanting to test combat really hard, especially if they manage to have like, I would hope by then, like the new combat revamp in place. Just testing like all of that, try to like level up various classes, pretty much each and every one that I can. Put like a lot of time into just like seeing how it feels, right? So I've been doing like a lot of testing on Crowfall, which, before like Crowfall actually had like a really bad rep. Some people still think it does, but it has action combat, and like their PvP almost, from what I can tell, is kind of like, I wouldn't say a ripoff, but it mimics some of the systems in place on Ashes of Creation. And if it is anything as fun as that, I can't wait to test that Ashes of Creation. So for sure. But I'm going to be super big into the PvP. So if you all want to be involved in that in any way, just let me know. Like I said, I'm going to try to set up some type of maybe like a mini competition if people want to like push the PvP that far. But it's going to be fun.
Oh, yeah. I'm in. I'll be your tank.
And then
I'll be your
like, hopelessly
Tankleberry.
fail.
All right. But yeah, so the news today. Speaking
Yeah, I'm
of Alpha
Getting
1.
that set up. Let me swap over. Okay.
yeah, in case anybody missed it, which I'm pretty
Here's-
sure it spread like wildfire.
Here's the new updated schedule. So let's just start off with that. And yeah, thank you. All right, is it okay if I read this real quick?
Yeah.
All right. Glorious Ashes community. Over the past few months of testing, we have made significant progress with our Alpha 1 features and performance. The preview test in December and February provided valuable data that my team has been working diligently to operate upon in order to improve our performance and diagnostic capabilities. In our February testing, we hit some challenges and have spent the last few weeks addressing those issues. Of course, at the onset of our Alpha 1 schedule, we acknowledge that we may see some changes as we move through the different phases and undiscovered work becomes visible. As we have been addressing these challenges, my team has determined that additional polish is needed in order to guarantee a smoother Alpha 1 testing phase. And yesterday I approved this NDA extension. I know that this is not what you want to hear, but my team and I are committed to excellence for Ashes of Creation. And honestly, this is the purpose of these alphas and betas, to discover issues and address them as early as possible. I am committed to bringing you along on that journey, regardless of the good, bad, or ugly. As a result, I wanted to let you know that our Alpha 1 playtest schedule has shifted accordingly. We'll prolong the NDA testing based on the NDA collected during our based on the data collected during our February Alpha 1 preview. This means that our non-NDA Alpha 1 preview is now scheduled to occur from May 14th to May 21st, 2021, and our Alpha 1 test is scheduled from June 1st to June 30th, 2021. Intermittent downtimes may occur during weekends for updates and as we patch in new bug fixes and content changes. As eager as our team is to open the gateways to Vera for you, we ultimately feel that this is the right decision in order to make sure everyone can test the features we'd like to focus on during Alpha 1. And the performance is reflective of the insights we have gained through these preview tests. In the meantime, we will continue with our periodic spot testing under NDA with our glorious Alpha 1 testers as we work to deploy updates between now and May's testing. We, of course, will continue to show footage of testing in our March and April live stream updates, so please make sure to tune in there on our social sites for more updates. It's been a thrill to see the world of Vera take shape with each update. This would not be possible without the help of the glorious community and hard work of our incredible Alpha 1 testers. Thank you all for your continued support, patience, and feedback as we march forward towards our major Alpha 1 milestone. Wishing you the best with much love and appreciation. Stephen Sharif, creative director.
Stephen Sharif. But yeah, I noticed the bandages on the first, added to the first little Phoenix. I did not notice the Ranger. He kind of camouflaged himself in there. That's crafty.
Could that mean we're going to be getting Rangers during that second one, or that first non-NDA test?
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. I mean,
Here,
I think prior you said something like,
I mean, it says a tester right above its name. So if the tester is playing the Ranger, it would have to be available, right?
Yeah. Easter eggs. Because it's the previous
that
one.
would make
There's no Ranger.
It would make for a solid 4v4, because then there'd be 4 classes to play around with, right?
Ooh, which will make me incredibly happy, because I'm very interested in trying out the Ranger. What about you all? What are you thinking so far? I know you kind of talked about tanking a little bit. Are you thinking tank is going to be like your primary class, or just something that you want to test out? Or what role do you see yourself filling?
Well, tank is always my primary class, but when it comes to testing, with all the characters being wiped and all that, so it doesn't really matter if you invest a ton of time, and it's only up to level 10 and all that, I'm going to test all the classes available.
Right. Okay.
I mean, if you're going to defend anything, especially in a PvP format, you kind of got to know what's going on with the other class, like what they have to offer as far as coming at you and your teammates. So yeah, I'll be testing them all, but tank is always primary.
Okay, interesting. I mean, you're going to be incredibly popular, without a doubt. If any other MMOs, like any gauge for tanks / healers, for sure.
Yeah, I kind of ran that out because I do all the cleric-y stuff. Yay.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. That was actually, believe it or not, believe it or not, yeah, it's probably one of the big driving reasons, but one of the reasons I picked up tank in the first place was to get in groups faster.
Okay.
I was tired of waiting around as a DPS, and I was always scared to take up tank. Like, it's so much pressure, and it's blah, 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 and if you mess up, everything's done. I don't want to do it. I just want to sit back and kill stuff.
Yeah.
And then I tried tank just to get in groups faster, and I've never looked back with tank ever since then.
I don't really blame you. It's not the most relaxing, at least in my experience, but as long as you have knowledge of the boss's mechanics and all that good stuff, positioning, you're pretty good to go. And then you can also be the one shouting out calls and stuff like that. So it's a fun class for sure if you like that extra responsibility.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's also like every other class. Like, as a DPS, people like the fact that they can sit back and they can just do damage, but they always have that further they can extend themselves when they need to push. It's kind of the same thing with a tank. Like, once you get geared up and you're practiced and you kind of got the muscle memory with stuff, for the most part, when you're just doing typical stuff, you can sit back and just cruise control it and just have fun with it. But then when you need to push hard, that's when you really got the stress beaten down on you, pushing the boundaries of what you can do and what the group's expecting.
Yeah.
True.
Before we get too off topic from the original topic, Megisto AOC wanted to say that they would love to know our thoughts on Steven's recent update regarding the alpha testing timelines, and how do you feel? Is this expected? It's kind of hard for me to answer exactly due to, again, NDA things. But is this expected in terms of Intrepid Studios? Yes. Not in a bad way. It's expected of Intrepid Studios because whenever they see an issue, they have taken down the servers to fix it a little longer than we expected before. And I'm saying it's not in a bad way because this means, as they pointed out in the letter, that they're trying to aim for as great of a product as possible, and even early on as possible. Before we even truly open up the Alpha 1 testing to non-NDA. I know that Intrepid Studios and Stephen Sharif specifically has been hurt a little bit by the non-NDA issues that have happened previously. And I can understand this isn't ready. I don't want there to be negative thoughts and feelings on this because it's not where it should be quite yet. And so in that case, while I am sad, it's only 1 month. It's not 3 months. It's not 1 year. But, they even said, look, there's spot testing happening between March 19th and June 1st. So there is knowledge that testing will still be happening. It's just we're pushing back by 1 month the non-NDA. And if that Easter egg has anything to say about anything,
might be worth the wait.
yeah, it might be worth the wait. And additionally, I'm pretty okay about it. Yeah, I just saw the delay. You're sad. I'm sorry, Cabal. Sorry about the Streamlabs spot there. But yeah.
Yeah, I just so you know, I just went through and got that turned off. So
Yeah.
it shouldn't be that picky about it any longer.
We're so busy that we forgot to check right after stream last week. I'm sorry. We've been annoyed by that for like 3 weeks now.
A little bit.
There were some actual, some fairly large name streamers on Twitter, replying to like the Ashes of Creation post. I think SFan TV, Asmongold, and a couple others, like pretty well-known names, especially in the MMO community. Just saying to Steven, right? They understand and like they know that the first impression on a game is going to be like very important, and especially like with the understanding that a lot of people have these days of alphas not really being like true alphas. Alphas in a lot of cases these days, especially like some of the Eastern games and even some of the Western games, they're just basically fine-tuned and almost polished betas right before release. We're not even close to that yet, and similar to what you were saying. Steven wants to get that best first impression that he can, moving forward. So while it is a hard pill to swallow, right? Especially some of us that are just desperate to get that game footage, that content out there for you all, right? It's necessary. It's just one of those necessary things. So
yeah, I have kind of a middle ground on it. Like I wouldn't say that it was expected to have a delay because they've been very, very cautious about putting dates out. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't necessarily expected. However, it's also not surprising. And because of the same things that you two have mentioned, it's they're being very cautious about how they move forward with stuff, and they want to make sure they present the best thing possible.
Right.
And even though it is an alpha, depending on what the issues are, because they never really said what issues caused them to delay it, depending on what the issues are, it may very well have been something that they really wanted to polish that up because it's maybe a fairly vital system. Who knows? And
they also said that they want everybody to be able to test it, right? So maybe there might be a performance issue that might affect your computer, Vertec.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. May affect my computer. My dinosaur. Dinosaur is not allowed.
There was that issue that, and I can't remember if you brought it or not, Chibi, but like I think Steven brought up during like the last dev live stream, and I think during like the letter as well, like there was like a pretty significant setback in like the testing, so they had to kind of cut it short. So I'm assuming this is just a part of that, and if we can get that knocked out and get us back on track, I think overall we'll be on a good path. But it does like lead us back to something that Steven was almost afraid to kind of do before, which was giving us dates, right? Before that, they were very hesitant. Like we were expecting one date and like for the Alpha 1, and then they came out with this roadmap, right? For like 4, very set dates for these different types of, Alpha 1 testing or previews. And then now we're hitting a snag and it's changing a little bit. Do you all think that we should just stick to them only giving us one date? So like, should they just say, hey, the next NDA, we had to change some things around. We're going to go back to giving you only one date so that way we can meet that and not have to worry about it? Or do you think like they should stick with, this type of format?
I personally enjoy that they have a roadmap, especially with the spot testing, and also as they did twice now. This is where this image above us is coming from. Thank you, Vertec.
Yeah, there you go, Ensington.
Yeah. So basically, this is something I enjoy just because, not only do they have it here with like the Alpha 1 preview spot testing, which is under NDA, but there's also the preemptive, hey, things might change as we go along, which they did previously as well. And I appreciate that. I think it's showing that they're trying to be a little bit more brave with giving us dates again, despite being kind of burnt the last couple of times. But I think it shows that they've not that they had a lesson to learn, but they learned a lesson, sadly, that like wasn't shouldn't, in my opinion, have had to be learned. It should have been understood. But I mean, I understand where a lot of other people are coming from. So I'm not blaming. I'm just saying I realize it's hard on both sides. A lot of us gamers are really tired of not having anything, and like all these failed Kickstarter games are really drawing people's like making them not really trust that the game is actually going to come out, and it's just making it really hard for them to be like, okay, but is this game actually going to come out? I'm feeling a little nervous about this. And on the other hand, because of those people, Intrepid has been kind of we've been yelled at because of our dates. You know, we weren't able to meet it, and everybody was like, there's a huge backlash on it, and it's just it's unfortunate. But this is not an easy thing. This is not an easy thing for Intrepid Studios to do for Ashes of Creation. It's not easy being a completely transparent development cycle with people who have no idea what's going on behind the scenes, actually being able to see what's happening. So there's bound to be like, well, why are they doing this instead of that? Like last week we had somebody ask, why are they making cosmetics when they should be focusing on the game? And one of the important factors of that is, well, they are focusing on the game by making cosmetics, for one, and for two, not all artists are needed for the Alpha 1 stuff, so they're making content for other things and also funding the game as we go. So having this roadmap is just really easy to be like, okay, this is what we're expecting, and you know, I'm glad that we have 2 non-NDAs still, with intermittent testing being under NDA. I think it'll be a little bit confusing, so I hope they do whatever they can to make it very clear, because I see intermittent testing from the 19th through the 1st of June, during which there's
no NDA testing.
Exactly. So if I have any sort of like, hey, look out for this, Intrepid, it'd be that. Just make sure it's super clear. This is NDA. This is not NDA. Just because you have the 1 week like smack dab in the middle of the spot testings. So.
Yeah, I shot that out as a clarification question on Twitter, like just to make sure. So even after the no NDA time hits, there's still going to be NDA covered testing that's still not able to be shared, correct? We'll see what comes back with that, but pretty much guaranteed it's going to be that.
Yeah. How do you feel about the roadmap or versus one single date?
Yeah, it'd be interesting to hear your perspective as well, for sure.
Me, I think that the little bit of a roadmap they have here is still decent idea to push forward with, and the reason I say that is because of what the dates represent. And the answer that Stephen gave during the interview with Theory Forge, he actually they were nice enough to ask our question, which was, hey, why is there such a short time frame between it was at that time the March and April testing. At this time it's the May to June testing. Why is there such a short time period? Don't you need extra room to do this and that and the other? And his response was, well, the last NDA covered testing date is the last time we're going to be adding new features in. Then we're going to polish it up, we're going to fix things up, and then it's going to be the beta test for the alpha test, which is that March date, which now is set to May.
Right.
Just to make sure, so they're going to have all that time between the NDA test, which now is going to go from March all the way until May. I think they're going to have plenty of time to cover. They probably gave themselves a good safety blanket window there.
Yeah. To like
just
full,
make sure
like NDA things. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever is going on, we just want to make 100% sure that we're going to cover it this time.
Right. My only concern is like with shifting dates, especially like when we're so close to them, even like we're almost like a month and a half out to like the full month long, and then like even closer to like the week long testing for the NDA. I think it puts a lot of strain on those, you know, people with jobs, with schedules that they have to plan around, especially since we don't know like what time. That's my main concern, right? I'm in the military. I have a very strict, you know, time that I can actually play and test. So them switching the days is a little bit rough for those of us that have to plan, leave or time off work or do whatever we got to do. Especially, content creators, it's a little more important for us to kind of, get those times set in stone. It's a little rough seeing like the dates change. But other than that, hopefully, like we've all mentioned, the issues get ironed out to where we don't have to worry about it going up the next testing cycle. So,
yeah. The only other thing I have to put in is that I feel like if I had just one date and that date got pushed back, there's not very much clairvoyance happening in terms of the non-NDA stuff. Mm-hmm. Because if you say, hey, no NDA Alpha 1 is April through May 14th through 21st. And then you said, actually, now we need to push it back from June 1st to June 30th. And you took away the other two testing. That's still happening, but that's just the only date you gave. It kind of, in my opinion, from like a different perspective, it'd be like, well, what are they doing with all that time? Is there even any testing happening? And this way, there's like, for those of us in the community that can do the NDA testing, we can just relate to like, hey guys, there's NDA testing at this point and this point. That's all we can tell you because that's all they've released. And it's nice to be like, there is testing happening. Can't talk to you about it outside of what Steven says, but that's what we can do. And I think it's just really important to add that extra layer, I feel like, for them being able to be a bit more transparent with what's happening, of having the roadmap. I like what Cabal said. The roadmap is nice because folk will want to know how the date change will affect the dates after, etc. And
at least it's a small roadmap. It's not planning out the next year or two. It's just saying, hey, here's 3 very important dates coming up, and this is what we have them scheduled for.
Yeah.
With a disclaimer of testing may change these.
Yeah.
I think one thing that it does kind of give us is like short-term goals as well for the company. I know they don't really publish like the patch notes or anything like that, which has its pluses and benefits on the company's transparency side, right? You don't want to publish everything this early in testing just because people can do with what they will with that kind of information. But it does kind of give us an idea of, are they making progress? Do they have to keep delaying? If they don't have to keep delaying, eventually, like when we get to June, if they see that, hey, we're finally at non-NDA, we get like a clear sense of progression in terms of game development. So I think it's very nice for allowing us in the community to see like they are making that progression and meeting those goals that they're setting. So
yeah.
And Z says, welcome back, but you're boring her, so she's going to sleep now. I mean, I'm paraphrasing. That wasn't her exact words. That wasn't her exact words, but that was close.
Oh, man. Wow. Z's throwing shots. Jeez.
Oh, man.
We love you, Z. Yeah, you get some rest. You get some rest.
You should get some sleep. But yeah, I agree with Sir Onsington also. Like, at least they didn't take away the NDA testing on the 19th, previously, March 16th. Right. It's kind of nice to have... It's kind of nice... Sorry, I'm enjoying the chat. It's kind of nice to have the ability to have no NDAs, though. I like to see, like, they also have like the official content creators. So like, here's my curiosity, and this is just from what I'm aware of. Intrepid is currently working on their official content creator system. So by them putting that up there, I wonder if that means that they're about ready to open up the official content creator thing again.
I've tried to, pull out tease out any information that I could. But they just say that they can't share anything. They're not really ready to release any information. I was hoping, right? But since we were so close, we were only 1 week away from like the first like non-NDA testing, which says all official content creators. I was hoping with like the forum update, the website update, that they would be pushing out more information, because Margaret did say that with the new website, they will be getting to the content creator program. She didn't give a specific date or anything, but I was like, fingers crossed that, by that point, if they were saying all official content creators, they might open it up to, applications. But, I was not able to pull out. Toast is just she's a vault of that information.
That's good though.
But we'll see. But that could give them more time to further solidify anything that they need with it, and hopefully within the next months.
Yeah.
Like I'm really hoping to apply to it once it does come around. But the one thing is we don't know like what the requirements are for it, so it's kind of like leaves us in the dark. But no matter if I get into it or not, I'll be streaming it for you all will be streaming it, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of like really cool content creators out there providing content for the game, which is the important part.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Whether we meet the requirements or not, we're still going to be here. So
Yep.
I'm not fearing going anywhere.
Nope.
Just if we get the cute little title or not.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. And they do have it under no NDA for the official content creators. So that starts May 14th through the 21st for 1 week. They'll do a full wipe, and then they'll do the 1 month from June 1st to June 30th. But on a much lighter note, we did get other leaks not even an hour ago.
Which I think this will probably talk to like the Reddit crowd, because they have been gnawing at the teeth to see some of these cosmetic sets and armor pieces in game, or at least like the modeled sets, right? I've been seeing a lot of complaints about cosmetics lately, especially because the complaint that I see the most is that Intrepid is selling pieces of paper basically with the concept art. But they've been pushing out, modeled mounts, modeled, a couple other things. They've shown the modeled art armor in the past, but it's good to see some of like these cosmetic sets make it, and them just being very open and upfront with like that. Hey, they're here. They're not done yet. They're still making passes on the armor, but it's looking very good. I'm liking it.
Yeah, I agree. I'm getting them saved to my computer. Just a minute.
And yeah, while she's getting that ready, what's your take on some of that stuff where people are getting a little upset about there even being a cosmetic shop?
It's tough because I understand Intrepid's approach to how they want to monetize the game, right? They don't want a box cost. They just want a simple subscription, with the cosmetics being a way for people to get that feel of progression in the game. If they can't spend a lot of time, but they work a lot, well, then they can kind of direct some of those real life resources to getting cosmetics. I get Steven's approach to that, but I also see and understand some of the frustration with, collectors, right? I think someone did some of the math, and like by the time the game reaches launch, right, there will be hundreds of cosmetics that if you just join the game on day one of launch, you can't get, right? If you didn't back the game, you're not going to have access to any of those cosmetics. And for collectors, that could be like a very big turnoff to even joining the game, right? If people can have all of these people who have bought like every single supporter, or not supporter pack, but they bought in the supporter pack from the very beginning, and then they got the cosmetics each month, right? That's a lot to kind of like overcome. But then there are others that don't really care, right? They focus on their own progression, their own visual progression even. So it's not that big of a deal. But I can see both sides of the story. And I know that's kind of like an easier argument to take, like straddling the fence. But it's tough, right? Like for me, I don't necessarily care about what everyone else is wearing. If there's something that I can achieve in the game, that's a lot more important to me than anything that will ever be on the cosmetic store, right? If there's something in the cosmetic store I like, I will get it. I'm not someone that goes out and feels that I have to buy everything. I didn't buy anything in the past month's cosmetics. I liked a couple of them, but not enough to where I was actually going to pay money for them.
So 9,000.
Exactly. So I am a collector in terms of achieving things in game, but when it comes to cosmetic stores, I think people focus too much on other people. Like honestly speaking, I think that people are so worried about themselves looking really cool that they want to drag other people down in terms of like visually how they look, and I just don't see why, right?
And see that's my point of view on it too. Is listen, if you're a collector, that's cool. I'm a collector,
right?
You know what? And if you're sad about there being the fear of missing out, driving people to buy stuff, well, I mean that there's always gonna be fear of missing out with something somewhere in the world,
right?
I mean, if it's in the game, it's in the game. What's to say that there's not going to be, and there is going to be, I should say, some events in game that you're going to miss because
real life,
a node may have risen and fallen, and some content was only available during the rise of that node. It may never come around again, or it may come around next month. Who knows? You're going to miss out on stuff. If there's anything at all exclusive in there, you're going to miss it.
Yeah.
As a collector, that should be exciting.
Yeah.
That you can miss stuff. Because that means somebody else can miss stuff that you are going to get.
Right.
Like, that should be an exciting driving factor of it. Like, okay, I can get something that nobody else will have. Or not many people will have because they won't have a chance to get it. That's cool. Now, there should be a large amount of collectible things that you can always get or will always have an option to get. But by definition, like when you're collecting stuff, the goal is to get stuff that you can show your friends. And if all your friends already have it, you're not showing them anything cool.
Exactly.
Dude, look at this nifty spoon I have. What is it? Where'd you get it? Walmart. Yeah, it's where I got mine. I got the same one. But isn't mine nifty? No, it's really not, because I have it too, as does everybody here.
I did put the links for those 2 armor sets at the bottom of the doc.
Yeah,
but it's like the Withered Woods and the other one. Like, this is like it's great. Like, I even like made like a Reddit thread on this. Like, hopefully people on Reddit and then just other places, right? They're seeing that, the developers and the artists at Intrepid Studios, they are making progress, right? They're not just, wasting their time on cosmetics. They are modeling, they're getting stuff done. We just might not see everything. And Steven's already said, like, a lot of these, pieces of armor, they might get repurposed in the game. So it's not just going towards, giving Intrepid more and more money. So.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Okay. Sorry, I just awkwardly messaged Vertec, like, I think Streamlabs OBS is going to go down. It just wasn't transitioning. Theater, I don't know why your feather is gone. I'm sorry.
It's possible. Like, I've had my stuff disappear before during the day that my subscription ends and before it starts up again. Like, it doesn't seem continuous. Like, it just starts up again right away. It seems like there's a period of downtime where it doesn't register me as subscribed when it comes to my little symbols. But then it does register me as subscribed when I click on the resubscribe now button. So I don't know. Maybe it's one of those things.
Maybe. Sorry, I really enjoy the chat. Caval's like, cosmetics shop spoons win. Steven lurking in chat like, write that down. It's in the chat box but won't show. Okay. Yes, so the previous skin was a nice dwarven skin. It looked kind of reminiscent of a lava DK from World of Warcraft, but much better. And then now we have this really... I feel like our necromancers will love this armor. I feel like they will really enjoy.
I think really just anyone that is edgy whatsoever will like that armor.
That's fair.
Not just the necromancers.
But
I would rock it. Just so I can relive some Death Knight days.
This is definitely one of the sets that I bought. I thought they did a fantastic job on this cosmetic set. Like, I love the colors, the black, the blue, the silver. Like, I loved everything about pretty much every piece of every cosmetic skin in this set. It was definitely great.
it is. I agree. The blue is very beautiful. I'm interested in seeing like. Hey, Laura, welcome in. Sorry, I'm like. I keep having this like slight mental like because I'm like, you have 64 classes but none of them are druid, but green and maybe brown would be a great druid piece with like gold. Like, my mind just goes there and I'm like, oh man, why you gotta call me out like that, TSG?
they went very like almost like, what was it, like a wood witch with this, because like the cosmetic mount, it was like, wasn't it like branches and stuff that was like kind of like going into the ground almost. It was very well done.
It's like the little flowy, almost ice looking dress.
It just didn't have like the earth colors that is generally associated with that, but these colors that they chose, definitely well done.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, so those were the two big leaks that happened. I'm gonna go back over to the main. Literally
as we were getting ready for the show.
Yeah.
Thank you for spotting that, Sir Tavern Side of the Gamingsburg.
One thing that just becoming a content creator is just taught me is just always be on the lookout for new information. And Intrepid Studio is very pro leak / reveal, right? And they do it at some of the most random times. Like what I put in Discord was like, this was like the sugar after the salt that they delivered with like the setback for the NDA, non-NDA testing.
Yeah.
And I could already see, like, just from like the reactions inside of Discord, there's already a couple of reactions on Reddit. Like people are really enjoying like what they put out for this. So
yeah, that's
it was
good.
well done. It was well thought out how they did that, right?
Yeah, like let's end with the sugar. Let's lessen the sting a little, because it's. I mean, think of how that might have been. Like, oh, look at these cosmetics. Oh, by the way, we're pushing back. Like it just. Right. They thought about that, and they had a very good great job delivering the news. And I mean, a lot of us who have been here since day one, or even most recently with the setbacks that we've had before, we understand, Intrepid. We get you. We're not terribly upset. We understand that, you guys want to make the game as good as possible. And while new people who are just joining and looking forward to the no NDA stuff will be like, oh man, no NDA stuff, I can kind of see what this game is like. Probably you're feeling down, or like the people that are been skeptical the whole time are probably feeling some sort of way. The rest of us, we understand. We appreciate you guys taking your time to put out a good, solid game frame for us.
Much rather a delay than a disappointment.
Screw that. I'm furious. I want to play.
I'm furious.
But I also understand as well. Everything what Chibi said. But I want to play. But yeah.
Wizzy, I'm going to start putting you on like a group message with Z so I can let you both know. Be both reminder.
Sorry, Wizzy.
Z has me a reminder before every show.
She angry, right? Solid idea. Yeah. And then she gets mad at him when he doesn't remind her. So.
Right. What'd I do? But speaking of Sir TSG here, I do believe you have a show to get ready for.
Yes, I will be starting.
We should let you escape, but before you do, let's get your input and everybody else's input on the newest Journey to Alpha 1, Choose Your Own Adventure. We're in chapter 12 now.
Thank you. I was trying to pull that up.
After an arduous and successful caravan defense, we head back to the village with all our newfound resources and gold, only to find that while we were away, someone from the rival economic village has declared a siege. How should we focus our efforts? Should we protect the wall or defend the square?
You don't necessarily have to defend the square as strongly if you protect the wall itself. Maybe even do like a counter push to attack them before they can really get set up. So I would say protect the wall, but maybe get like some sneak attacks in there, right? Right. For sure.
Hold the door.
Oh no.
But yeah,
right,
I think
guys. Oh, is there a way to do a I thought there was a way to use this bot and make like a poll.
Yeah, there is.
Get the bowling
/ poll or something.
Remind me not to get T-Elf mad.
Right? I haven't done it before though, so
Okay, I just can't type today.
There we go. Question. All right. Here we go. I'll get it.
I tried.
No, I get it set up and going.
Okay, thank you. I would like to do that. Yeah, I would like to do that more often, actually, with you guys, if you wouldn't mind. We'd like to do more polls, and then whatever you guys end up choosing for the winning poll is what we will choose on Twitter. But yes, I like the. I'm craving a new MMO. This way has me dying. Wall, by the way. Have you?
Grab them with cookies.
Yeah, right. Have you guys seen a lot of, I mean, I'm sorry, might be cringe, but I have a lot of younger friends. They're super into TikTok. But have you guys seen a lot of TikTok stuff at all?
And poll is going for 1 minute, by the way.
Okay.
Cannot say that I have too much. Streamers are reacting to TikTok, so that's about it.
Yeah, that's fair. There's a TikTok where it says, what was it? Spartans, what is your position? Or something like that. And it's like, and at the end it's like this tiny little like. So like that's what I'm imagining is like what are your positions? And so he's like tank, DPS, mage, and then the little like buff person's like ow ow.
There are some good ones. There's also some very, very strange things going on TikTok. I will say that.
Yeah.
There are.
Yeah.
TikTok is a world of strange.
Right.
I agree. All right. It looks like
You're
we're
never-
protecting the wall, you guys. Protecting the wall.
You need to click that button.
I did it. I clicked it. It's been clicked.
Oh, with a resounding, everyone else is saying the same thing. All right, all right. We have cohesion in the forces.
Yes. No.
No.
But
There's
yeah,
an important
I definitely,
NPC that I need to protect in the village square. Aww.
they didn't make it inside. There are more problems than just that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Right,
I just want to say thank you all for inviting me. It's always a good time having some discussion. Sorry I couldn't, chat with you all a little bit longer tonight.
Oh, it's all good.
Oh,
But,
we're more happy about the fact that you're coming back. So,
Yes.
by all means.
Yes. Thank you
And
for coming back.
those in here who don't know, there you go. That's where we're going next.
Yes, but
Check it
wait, because I think you're
But
starting
wait.
at 8, right?
Yeah, I'll be starting
Eight-ish.
here in like 5-10 minutes. So
Okay.
yeah, don't feel free to keep discussing whatever you want to do. There's a lot of people in your chat with some lovely ideas and things to talk about. So
If y'all want to join us in raiding him, stay here. Help us raid him.
yes, stay here.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Incoming
one of
monster coin at sea, attacking the village.
I will say like one achievement on Twitch that I've been working towards was like getting like 100 grades. And I'm getting close. But that
Nice.
seems like such a cool like community kind of thing. It's fun that Twitch has like some kind of like achievements that you can work towards as like a content creator like that.
Yeah.
It's good.
Raid
keeping
the
people
tavern.
in the category.
It's a tavern
What,
raid from one tavern to the other.
Exactly.
Yeah, just be prepared. Apparently, Z has lava and she knows how to use it. So,
Oh, gosh.
Oh gosh.
One quick question. Is a tavern raid kind of like a bar hop?
Yes, 100%.
Okay, there we go.
all right, I'm in. That's all I needed to know.
All right. Thank you all once
Tavern
again.
crawl. Yeah, we'll see you shortly.
Take care. We'll see you shortly. Yeah.
Y'all have a great day.
You too. I will fix this craziness
she's
that's
doing
about
that.
to happen to our layout.
Let's hang out with
Sorry.
us. We'll end up when we're done chit chatting over here. We're gonna go ahead and raid over there and knock down his door.
Sorry, this does not swap very easily, apparently.
Book a night planned. Loots and flutes. Oh my.
There's a hand, and then there's...
Ooh,
I don't know how to fix this.
sorry for messing up the scene.
It's all good.
The hand puppet. I think it's in focus, maybe.
I can't focus.
There we go.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay.
Oh, see, I can make all kinds of faces with my actual face, and you guys can't see it.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm working on this. I'm so working on this.
I'm just gonna talk through my mini face over here. Puppet hour.
Oh boy.
Hey, streaming with scissors. Nobody's ever warned me against it, so I'm gonna do it. Oh my goodness. But while she's taking care of that part, how does everyone feel about character levels? Because somebody had a neat conversation, which, sometimes I read a few of these things and I go, well, why would we even care about that? But then they have some neat ideas and it makes me kind of turn around and go, well, I guess that makes sense. Like character levels, they were saying, obviously you're going to need some kind of way of judging your strength, right? But they were talking about completely separating it, which they do in Final Fantasy, but how would you feel about them bringing that kind of system to Ashes, where you need to level your crafting and your gathering completely separately? You would start at a level 0 crafter, a level 0 gatherer. And even if you go through and you beat the end game raid bosses, you're going to be this lowly nobody crafter.
Are you asking me or asking them?
All of the above. All of the above.
Well, my personal feelings on it is I think it's kind of nice to... Oops, I'm pulling everything up. Oh man, I am breaking life right now.
Breaking it further.
I am, yes, just...
Yeah,
so
Theater
broken.
Elf, like they...
There we go.
Yeah, Theater Elf, like they have it in Final Fantasy 14. They have it separated like that, where your different classes are completely different, and you have to level them up. I didn't see the harm in doing it that way. I just thought it felt kind of weird.
There we go.
Because you're still the same person, right? And you're gonna level up your character to display your might and power to the world. But then you're also going to be like, yeah, but I'm also a crap crafter trying to make shoes. So if you want to buy some shoes, that'd be pretty cool. Immediately after going and slaying the dragon that shall not be named or what have you. Either way, you're still a nobody crafter, but one of them just puts a very obvious label on your crafter being a separate entity. I think the only game I bumped into that does the level up your character without having level numbers would be Ultima Online. That was pretty much it, because as you leveled up, quote unquote. Huh?
Can you tell me more about Ultima Online, because I never played?
Never played. Oh man, it is an old game. They've unfortunately never refreshed it, which is a shame, because it was, as Wizzy there says, amazing. When you went to level up, you actually had to choose, I'm going to level up my swordsmanship. My sword skills are what I'm going to focus on. So you grab a sword and you go start stabbing stuff, and you get more powerful with swords. And while you're dealing with that sword, because it's a strength-based sword, you're going to work on your strength. And you're running around and you're doing stuff, so you're going to build up your endurance. But you're not working your intellect very much, just swinging a sword. So that stays very static.
Okay.
And if you hit a cap of total points, like you had, I think it was like 150 points between three different stats, your strength, endurance, and intellect. When you hit your cap, whatever you were not training would reduce. So you'd start losing intelligence if you trained your strength more.
Okay.
So you had to kind of find the balance. But you also had like 30 or 40 different skills you could choose, like magecraft, swords, maces, plate armor, leather armor, and whatever you used is what you increased. You could learn and lose skills at will.
Okay.
So it wasn't based at all. Yeah, that sounds about right. There were a ton. There were a ton of skills, but who's counting? Yeah. So they started bringing in new weapons and new skills and new lands and all sorts of stuff. Boy, yeah, I started in Renaissance days, which I think was like their second or third expansion, and then I stopped playing right around the. It was like an Eastern themed one where they had very, very like Asian culture. They had Kirin that you could go and capture, and there was a meta for builds called a Bakbak, and I forget why it became such a meta outside of you could one-shot people. It didn't sound very fun to play. It was just
skill. Wow.
Yeah, 47 skills, and you could train each one individually. And some would tie in with others and make them each more powerful. But yeah, there was one meta where you could build as a one-shot wonder. You could walk up and smack somebody and they'd fall over dead. But if they didn't die with that first hit, you were screwed.
Jeez. Let's see. How do I feel about character levels? Like alts?
Yeah. No, like just our levels, like specifically a number level indicating how powerful you are. Is that something that's needed? Or is that something that's kind of meh?
I feel like it's kind of needed so that you know how far you've gotten in the game, like in terms of like, for example, Crusade Gaming, if you're watching this, thanks. We've been watching or playing a lot of BDO. So after a certain point of like levels, they give you AP. So that's a good way for you to gauge like what is your AP score at. Oh man. talking about my favorites. Yeah, he's very sad that WildStar is gone.
It's because you got
unfortunately-
taste. You got taste and style.
I unfortunately
That's why we
didn't
like
get
you.
to try too much of WildStar before it passed away, for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
But it is interesting. Yeah. All right. Will, is he up? Is he up yet? Have I stalled long enough?
Yeah, we're good now. But,
Alrighty.
but yeah, Laura, that was accurate. 700 points. So you could pick, if you wanted to completely grandmaster everything you trained, you had to pick only 7 to be good at. Very tricky. All right, so
I say I'm getting used to working on a Mac, and now I keep doing Alt instead of Control.
yeah, it's tricky to bounce back and forth. Yeah, welcome to my pain when I was doing contracting work for Apple. Yeah, that was fun. Worked on the Apple all day long, come home to my PC going, what the was that key again? Where do I gotta look for the thing? I gotta close the window on the wrong side. Damn it.
Yeah, right. The X over here for Mac, and the X is over here for Windows, and it's like, why? Repopulation is a cross between Ultima Online and Star Wars
really?
Galaxy. Early access, but revamping the game. Nice. Slow typer. It's okay. I'm a slow reader. How do
I'm
computers
gonna have to look into that horrendous.
Uh-oh. But yeah,
Sorry, you owe us the glory days. The glory days.
the other part of our podcast name was Side Gaming, which is kind of like what games we've been playing, which is BDO kind of really. I like that for BDO I can level a horse while AFK, because that's really nice, so I can work and have something to look at video game wise without being completely distracted by it. So and I did say I started BDO and never touched it again, but they had it for free. They apparently did a season thing, and I'm actually kind of enjoying it. So
It's not as bad as I'd heard.
yeah, or at least maybe because of the rebuild or whatever. But anyway,
yeah.
I
The
will
revamp.
go ahead and get this raid set up. Do we have any last words before?
I actually had one last question I wanted to toss out to people because I thought it was pretty darn interesting.
Maybe you guys can go challenge Tavern Side with it. Uh-oh, Cora's
Let
growling.
me, yeah, puppy's going grrr. But so there are, across all the different universes that introduce them, dragons that have multiple different mindsets. Some of them are very beast-like and they're very raw and they're instinctual, and be they peaceful or angry, it doesn't matter. They're just very bestial in their reactions with people. And then others, and you could go to Game of Thrones for that. Like they had the very, very beast-like dragons. And then you go to something like Dragonheart, that has very personable, very sentient and reactive and communicative creatures. What do you think, for one, Ashes is going to introduce? Do you think they're going to be more intellectual or more beast-like? And after taking what you think they will be, what would you prefer they be? Personally, I have a feeling they're going to be probably more beast-like rather than sentient. They might behave in a way that some creatures will behave, where they can be friendly and they can interact and communicate non-verbally, and they may get along with and cooperate. I think they're probably going to be more beastly. Although I would say I have always enjoyed the sentient-minded ones, and yet I think it would be really neat if Ashes did do sentient and actually give you the option of either befriending or creating enemies out of maybe a dragon clan. Who knows? Like a family of dragons that have lived here for all time, basically, as far as they're concerned. And you could either befriend them or, become an enemy.
Everybody's saying beastie. Beastly.
Yeah, it seems like everyone likes the beastie stuff.
What I prefer is dragons being sentient but very alien-minded because of their lifespans and such. Oh, that's interesting. By the way,
Yeah.
hello, Basher. Holy Basher. If it's a family of dragons, I couldn't kill them. Aw. They have to be more friendly because they're mounts also. Final Fantasy XIV dragons were awesome in the fact that they were so smart and had their own language and such. Yeah, I really liked that, Reluctant Raven. Welcome in, by the way. I was just thinking about you the other day. Hello. Why didn't the dragons get tainted by the corruption? That's a great question.
Honestly, I have a feeling that might be just because they are creatures of magic rather than those that just contain magic. So if the essence was the tool used by those that came back and corrupted everything, maybe dragons being creatures of magic wouldn't get corrupted by it. Just because they're so used to it being like the very core of what they are.
Yeah.
My take on it. Who knows?
Alrighty. So, shall we prepare them for the raid from tavern to tavern?
I do believe so.
Okay.
Oh, she be thinking. No, you shall never. You shall never.
It's good to see your name in chat again. Well, everybody, thank you guys for tuning in. I'm sorry that this episode is a little short compared to the last few. But nevertheless, we will leave you in very capable hands as Tavern Side Gaming has just gone live. And glad to be here. Sorry,
We would like to
all
give
good.
him. Yeah, we'd like to give him a good welcome back. So
Yes.
today's going to be a little bit shorter than most because we want to get you folks over to him. Because, welcome back,
Yeah.
ESG.
Welcome back to TSG. Thank you. Let's see. I think. Did I do it right? Is it showing a raid
It
on
looks
your
like it. I don't see anything saying raid, though.
Yeah, me either. That's why I was like, did I do it?
The raid
The
canceled.
raid canceled.
Womp
Okay.
womp.
I'm gonna try it again.
Oh no. But yeah, while we're waiting on that, thank you everybody for stopping by. We appreciate your time as always. Appreciate your support and your words in chat. We love interacting with people more so than just getting here and talking. We like interaction.
You
Side
already have a
Trimble.
raid in progress. Oh man. All right.
Oh
hold
no.
on. Let me see if there's something that I can do under mods.
Looks like we're testing some Twitch programming here now.
You broke the raid machine. Oh no.
Right. Click into this, yeah.
Oh. Still in.
And it's being torn apart by the two raids. Ah.
Too many raids. I blame Wizzy. Oh no. No, there's two of me. I don't know, guys. This isn't usually like this.
What happened with the breaking? I'm trying to see if there's anything I can do, but I don't think I
there
can.
we go.
It's just-
Unraid. I'm gonna unraid, and then I'm gonna
Unraid?
re-raid.
Okay.
Raid.
Turn it off and turn it back on.
Have you tried turning it off and on again?
That's
There we
exactly
go,
what we had to do.
yes!
We had to turn it off and turn it back on again. I'm telling you, there's a
Oh my
reason. That's the
gosh.
very first thing that every tech support tries.
Yep. Okay, cool. We got 16. 16 of us are ready. All right. Yeah, I was looking on how to turn it off and back on, but I just realized that you could /unraid. Okay. Good to know.
How
for the
does
future.
one unraid?
Right? Like, never mind, boys. Go home. Put your weapons back. All right.
Show up against the walls, ready to go. Sorry, guys. Nope. We're gonna unraid. Go ahead and just we're fine. Sorry.
All right, guys. Get those Tavern Side and Golden Feather emotes ready. We're popping over. One does not simply unraid. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Yeah, there we go. Ooh, a level 2 hype train. Nice. Well, for those of you that are still with us, thank you so much. Please go over there, and we will see you guys next week. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.